Hello, greetings everyone. Thank you for tuning in, listening to episode 2 of the Aloud podcast, All Things Aloud. Just wanted to preface this by saying that we had a plan and then things happened and then we had to make up a different plan on the spot. That being that we were originally going to talk about movies and music movies that really affected us and all that, but Frank had to be called away to India. We'll bug him about that in the next episode, and I promise we will get to the whole movie thing. Thank you all for emailing us. But instead, as a plan B, we invited Charles over. We had a bunch of beer, and we basically talked about food. That kind of meandered into tour stories. And, we had that was around the time the Jack White guacamole thing happened. We know it's not actually Jack White's guacamole, but, just go with it here. So, anyway, here's episode 2. Enjoy.
They say the next best thing to eating a meal is talking about it. Prepare to get stuffed. Welcome to All Things Aloud, the Aloud podcast. You are listening to Series 1, Episode 2, The War on Sustenance.
Charles is finally here.
Frank is not here, so you only get one more.
We only have 2 microphones, so that's the deal. you get 3 members max. Allowed.
So now I think Henry and I decided we need to do something every time somebody else joins the podcast.
Yeah, so Charles, what is your goddamn problem?
Man, how much time do we have?
We have unlimited time. It's the internet.
Oh, nice.
And we'll probably cut it.
Well, first off, I'm long-winded. I tend to go on for hours and hours, especially. And finally, I might actually be a psychopath. I don't know that I can actually empathize with other human beings.
There you have it.
Well, I learned a lot today. Well, they're probably done listening to episode 1, so we can we can get started. Speaking of the last podcast, there was a bit we were talking about, like, Back Here With Me Again, and how, like, for a period I just kind of, like, it's not that I hated the song, it just brought me great pain every time, like, somebody...
Yeah, it's totally different from hate.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is just more like, why are you hurting me? Yeah. But even recording it was a hassle, because, like, well, we did everything live, and, like, everything kind of took, like, 3, maybe 4 takes, and... Back Here With Me Again is the one we were going to do, like, just before lunch, and, like, we thought, like, alright, let's just bang this out real quick, and it took, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes.
Right.
It just went on forever, and, like, everyone just got, like, angrier because, like, we just haven't...
I just remember everyone thinking, like, this is the easiest one.
Yeah, it's just
why is this so hard? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happens when you have, like, musicians in a room who are hungry and, you put them off too long from eating, and it's just not happy people,
I wasn't even sick yet, and I was...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I was getting in a bad mood.
Yeah. I think that we were like, it might have been Benny who's like, all right, we should just stop and eat lunch, and I think everyone just sort of, almost a sigh of relief. Like, I think we wanted to keep going till we just got it so we could have a clean break. But we needed to just stop and, like, have lunch,
Well, that's the benefit to having someone who isn't insanely stubborn.
Right, like the rest
Involved.
of us, yeah. It's true. A voice of reason. And I think, did you make jambalaya that day? Right?
Yeah, well, I made, basically okra soup, but like a gumbo without any meat in it.
It was gumbo, right. That's what it was, yeah.
But yeah, Frank and Benny were the only people that did not partake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty hot gumbo. It was good.
Yeah. We ate it. I think Frank took a bite and was like, I can't eat this. And Benny was probably like, nah, man.
Yeah. Well, Benny just, I didn't know this until, like, fairly recently. He just doesn't like spicy food. Apparently.
Yeah, he can't eat anything that I cook, pretty much.
Yeah, he's a super taster, I think.
Yeah, we do like the spicy
pussy.
food. There were several discussions about what to be able to bring to eat on the road and that sort of thing. I remember at one point with a friend of ours talking about like engine cooking.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Martin was super into the idea of us engine cooking. He had that book.
Manifold Destiny.
Yeah,
Manifold Destiny. That's great.
Yeah, it was like things like put like a baked potato by like wrapping it in like tinfoil, but then like put it like on the engine of the car so it like heats up, and then after like 12 hours, like hey, baked potato.
Yeah.
I'm still intrigued by that, but I'm worried that the amount of driving we did over like shitty terrain in such a low to the ground vehicle would have ultimately destroyed a lot of our food.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, it was a little like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but
this hamburger is rocky.
Lots of road salt on this one.
Yeah. It would have been interesting though. You probably, I think there was something about even roasting a chicken.
Yeah,
I was like, are you serious?
It was pretty intense, like some of this shit.
It does get really hot.
Yeah.
That engine, right?
I would love to have seen the look on the mechanic's face in Arkansas who like took apart Lester.
Yeah.
If we had like been cooking like fucking ham and chicken and shit in there.
Right.
It's like, yeah, well, your
engine is caramelized.
Yeah. And it's delicious.
Yeah, Lester was the name we had for the old van. This like sort of camper conversion.
There was a conversion van.
Pedophile van. Really.
Lester Molester.
Lester the Molester.
No, it was Lester Newven, you weirdos.
Newven, right, yeah, right.
He had his own Twitter account for a while, and then we stopped.
No, we can't talk about that.
That's over right there. So I remember us starting out really good, but then we kind of hit, like, all these fast food restaurants all of a sudden that we didn't get on the East Coast, and all of a sudden it went from, like, oh, we'll just buy a bag of, like, bread rolls and, like, oranges and blah, 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 and then, like, yo, I've never been to a Sonic. Hey, I've never been to an In-N-Out Burger. And then it became, like, the mission. So the second month of the tour was like, I haven't been to Whataburger. Let's go to Whataburger.
That's true. I actually lucked out on a lot of those because I was like, well...
you were okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'll eat some french fries, I guess.
Right. And the rest of us are like munching down on these like cheeseburgers at 2 o'clock in the morning, which apparently is not good for your blood pressure, folks.
Dr. Jen says no.
I got back from that tour and went from my physical, and the doctor was like, so your blood pressure is crazy. And I was like, whoa. I'm glad that, like, I did that out of the challenge to, like, do that, I guess. I guess. But, like, yeah, that, I do remember, like, being like, okay, I've got to, like, we're going on tour again in 4 weeks. I need to, like, change my habits stat.
All right.
You also got used to the spicy pickles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was, like, everything that even the healthy stuff that we thought. We were like, the V8s, loads of salt. Loads of sodium, right? Like, even the beans to preserve them with all the salt in them, there was that. There was the cheese sandwiches. Cheese is like all the damn salt. All the bread probably had like loads of sodium. Like everything on the list that he told me to stay away from, we ate.
No, Charles,
it was almost all of it.
It was uncanny. She got back from the doctor and she's like, well, here's the list of stuff, and I'm reading through it. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is like our menu.
I was like, I can eat bananas. That's what I can do.
Oh my god.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
So, all right,
that second tour, way healthy. Instead, like, I came back, like, weighing less and feeling better, too. Like, because it was the bag of orange tour, the second one. Like, I started with it on the first one, and the second one I was like, nope. Oranges. Every damn day, oranges.
How awesome is Waffle House?
Man, I love Waffle House so much.
That's another, like, we went to Waffle House a lot.
Yeah, that was a sort of, like, second half of, like, the bad eating journey. Like,
right.
It was like...
came back from the West and started more towards just being in the South.
Yeah, well, you can sort of split it into, like, Burrito Quest, Fast Food Nation, and then Waffle House Lane.
Yeah.
And that was, like...
The realm of ultimate breakfast.
Yeah. Do you guys remember... the Waffle House experience that sticks out to me, one of them is in Pensacola.
Yeah, I know the story you're gonna tell.
Yeah. So we were leaving the gig, and I guess it must have been like 2 maybe by that point, and we had a 5-hour drive ahead of us from Pensacola to Gainesville, and we were, obviously you're starving anyway, and then you're gonna have this long drive, so you're like, well, we should get some food. So we stopped at the Waffle House. And, like, we're used to being at Waffle House when, like, it's dead and no one's there, right? And this was, like, the jumpinest, like, Waffle House we had been in yet. It was, like, packed full of, like, kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also, like, 2 in the morning in a
right.
college town.
It's pretty prime
like,
time, yeah. So, yeah, in a college town, exactly. So, like, we get in there and it's just bustling, you know, and we get a table and we start ordering the food or whatever, and, like, obviously big deal is, like, the hash browns, so, you know.
Yeah. Henry and I went a little nuts. We decided we'd both done double orders of hash browns the way we like them up until that point a couple of times. But this time we decided we were really going to go for it, and we both got triple. And we'll describe later why that was such a mistake.
Yeah, so we make our order, everybody's ordering, and I think James, who was with us drumming at the time, was ordering, and what he ordered, he wanted the
pecan pie, but because he's from South Carolina, they say things really weird. So he ordered the pecan pie.
He ordered the pecan pie,
which, you know, it's not the right kind of pie.
Right. The waitress immediately just kind of went, "Honey, the pecan is down the hall and on the left. If you want the pecan waffles, I can get that for you."
Yeah, that's right. It was waffles. Not
It was waffles. It was the most amazing thing. I couldn't help it. And you know, this woman had been through so much by like 3 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time it was. And
she
it was
fucking
amazing.
burned
it was
him,
amazing.
man.
Yeah, it was great.
We
had a good laugh. It was fantastic. And I was like, all right, pecan waffles.
Yeah.
There you go.
But now that you mention it, the bands of the South that say pecan versus the ones that say pecan are almost kind of random.
Oh, yeah.
Because in Arkansas, it's definitely pecan.
Right.
And in northern Louisiana, it's definitely pecan. But in southern Louisiana, and especially like towards west, towards Texas, it's pecan.
I mean, that just sounds like wrong.
Yeah. There's like just these weird...
There's one E in there.
Yeah. There's just these weird belts where like it's pecan all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And there's no real rhyme or reason, to my mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, that's strange.
Actually, you know what? Before we post that bit, we should definitely look at a map. Like, see about it, just to see. I don't want to sound like a total idiot, but...
Well, if anybody knows why it's pecan in some places and it's pecan in others, write us. Email us. And let us know, and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. Because actually, I'd be very curious.
Yeah. Talk about where you're
Podcast
from.
at allthingsallowed.com. There you go.
Hey, you know what I was thinking of, though? And this might kind of go into a gross story, but surprise.
Nice.
But when we were talking about cheese sandwiches, and I mentioned grilled cheese, I did think of that point when we were getting to Louisiana, where we stayed in that horrible motel, and went to I think it was a Market Basket even, which I was really surprised to see. You didn't go with us. Charles was with me.
It was a Market Basket
Oh,
in
weird.
Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Yeah.
Which is actually where pretty much the entirety of my mom's side of the family is from. Mm-hmm. So, hometown pride.
Yeah. Well, this is what Lake Charles did to us. So, we went and did some groceries, and we had like a little someone gave us like a George Foreman sandwich press.
Oh, it was Foster. Steve
Yes.
Foster.
Right. Your friend Steve gave us, yeah. So we had this little sandwich press thing, and we bought butter and cheese and bread, and we attempted to make grilled cheeses.
The best part is while we're making these grilled cheeses in a Knight's Inn, which if anyone's been to the Knight's Inn in Lake Charles, Louisiana, just off God, what interstate is that? But anyway, you'll know what we're talking about. It's this dirty, terrible room.
Yeah.
And we're watching Avatar.
That's right.
Fucking Avatar.
The
while
worst.
making these terrible cold grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. Man, and they did not taste very good, and that butter was bad. I don't know, there was something weird looking about that butter.
Yeah.
I was like, are we really?
I was gonna say,
this?
like, I don't think it was the machine so much as the.
No, I don't think it was.
the
It's
goods.
obviously not the machine that's gonna poison you. Like, but whatever it was, the next day we played Baton Rouge, and
It's actually kind of a fun show.
Yep,
I'm trying to remember. Oh, was it the thrift store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place is rad. And
So-
the band played like all Weezer.
All Weezer songs. Yeah, so we played a gig, and the venue was kind enough to let us crash there. And they pulled out some mattresses, and I remember like buttering up some bread and like eating that because this was the night we did not have dinner, and I remember sleeping on this mattress and getting up in the middle of the night with a fierce little goblin in my stomach.
Hello, Jennifer.
Yeah. And it had decided it was going to make me have a C-section or something. It was just like the most abysmal pain. And I just like, I remember being in the bathroom and groaning from the bathroom just to like remember that I was alive or something. Like it was just so bad. And somehow eventually I got back into bed and slept. It took a while. And I remember Henry coming in and checking me and being like, you okay? Is everything all right? And so we left the next morning and it was like worse. I just felt horrible. And James was like driving. Eventually we pull over and I'm like, yeah, I'll try and drive. And like I got back in the car and I was like, there's no way. There's just no way I'm driving. I think we were going to Birmingham.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
was it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're going
we
to
went to
Birmingham.
Alabama first.
Yeah, so we're going to Birmingham, and we had this show we're playing, and again, just everything still. This is like a 24-hour virus that I caught, right? So I'm still just like all sorts of bad, and we play the show, and like I just like asked someone to take me back to where we were staying, and
That was the lady we were staying with, James's friend.
Yep.
No.
She
Yeah.
came to see the show. We also ate Mexican food first.
Yeah, this was not getting better for me.
It's a sort of like a appendix to the norovirus story because like basically the rest of us got sick after Jen did. Thankfully, we were at your dad's place in Little Rock.
The sort of hospitality that only a family member can provide.
Yeah.
That really definitely helped things. At least everybody else got sick in a safe place.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
But here's the funny thing for me about it was that your dad Charles III
Which
treated
is
us.
such a stupid number. 4 clearly is the best number.
Where's that,
Sorry, Dad. That is your real name.
Mr. Dad?
Which it isn't.
I know because it's the same name as me except the wrong number, jerk. But anyway, Mr. Dad was nice enough to treat us to lunch. And he took us out for sushi. I don't eat sushi anymore because the other time that I got the norovirus was after I'd gotten into sushi. So like the taste association is so strong that like I will just gag, and like specifically soy sauce. So we're eating lunch.
Oh, that's why we can't have stir fry with soy
Yeah.
sauce cooked in it.
Because I will vomit.
Oh, this
Yeah.
has been a point of contention in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
anyway.
thought I explained this to you.
No, I've forgotten. I don't know.
All right, cool.
Shut up.
So anyway, yeah. So like I don't order any sushi whatsoever, no soy sauce, and Chip, Charles's dad. And he's like, well, why aren't you eating any sushi? And I was like, oh, because I told him the whole story, like the time I got into sushi, and then sure enough, that day I get whatever the fuck thing Jen had, and it was 36 hours again of like
Yeah.
my own personal hell.
Yeah.
And then James caught it, and Charles like it was,
Well,
it was just
Henry,
like
no, you and Charles caught it the same
Okay.
night because we were playing. You guys really it hit you on stage. We
Yeah.
were at Hot Springs in Arkansas, so we're on stage at Maxine's, and we're finishing at the I think either before the last song or something. And
no,
someone
there
was
were like 3 songs left.
yeah, and I think Henry would turn to me and was like, "This is our last song."
Yeah.
Like-
Well, no, because what happened was you're like, all right, we just got like 3 more songs left, and I just like nudged you, and I was like, no.
We have one more song left.
I would
And-
also like to point out that halfway through our set, my amp broke.
Oh, great.
And so that actually ate up a whole lot of time.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that your amp broke. Yeah.
We had to there was seriously 5 minutes of dead air while we were on stage. And Henry was had previously thrown up into that wicker basket in the green room.
Right. Yeah. He got a little sick before, so we're like a mess.
They never wrote us back when we asked to come back.
Yeah,
so.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
They're sweet people. If you are around the Hot Springs area, Maxine's is a great place. They'll treat you right, as long as you treat them right.
Don't throw up in the wicker basket.
Yeah. Here's another cool fucking place, Hacienda in Little Rock.
Oh my god.
I know this is near and dear to you.
That's every time I go back to Little Rock, I eat at least one meal there. And the last time I went down, I ate 3 consecutive meals at La Hacienda at the bottom of Cantrell Hill.
Nice.
Yeah,
as you can tell, we really like Mexican food.
Well, Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I was corrected recently.
Hey, whatever, dude.
So yeah, Filiberto's. That is my favorite, or least favorite, depending how you want to frame it, burrito story during Burrito Quest. We were in Arizona. We had it was the day before Thanksgiving, and we were going to drive overnight to Albuquerque because our manager at the time, Annie, she's from Albuquerque. Her family's there.
We were going to have Thanksgiving.
We were going to have Thanksgiving with them. You know, we did what we usually do, apart from asking, "Can we crash at your house?" The other question was, "What's the beer around here?" And then the third question is, "Where can we get a good burrito?" You know, particularly in the Southwest. And someone was like, "Oh man, you gotta hit up this place, Filiberto's, right? It's fucking awesome, right?" And we're like, "All right, sweet, right? You know, it's gonna be great. We have an overnight drive. We're gonna get our belly full of burrito."
You know, that's what we do before a long, especially that drive. You wanna get the little pleasure zone in. We're gonna eat something really good, and then we're gonna take turns driving and fall asleep and whatever.
So we get there, and it's all right, there's a drive-thru. All right, that's kind of odd, but whatever.
That should have been the first giveaway.
That was the flag.
Honestly, afterwards, I was like, why is there a drive-thru at the burrito place?
So
this isn't Taco Bell. What's up with this?
And then
if only it had been Taco Bell.
It would have been better. Yeah.
I would have preferred Taco Bell because it's I know what Taco Bell is.
Right.
So we get our burritos, and we kind of we park in the lot just to kind of have a moment to be still and eat it. And with every bite that we took, we just got angrier and angrier because it was such a terrible, terrible burrito.
Yeah.
I have to say, for me, my experience with it was, imagine eating something that tasted like nothing with an occasional pocket of bad.
Yeah. Right,
so, it's not that every bite was worse. It was, I got more and more angry because every bite I had either tasted like nothing or something terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's
for me, it kind of went all right, this is not great. And so there was the first layer of disappointment. And the next bite was this is really not good.
Yeah.
And then, I'd shovel down some soda to kind of get the burrito taste out.
It's like a 9-layer burrito of bad.
And then I was like, oh, these are refried beans. God damn it. I do not like refried beans in a burrito, FYI. It's got to be pinto or black.
But even then, the refried beans were bad.
Yeah, because they don't taste of anything. It's probably came out of a can, right? Because you can have really great refried burritos. I just don't, or refried beans in your burrito. I just don't generally like them. You know, if they would have been really great, it probably wouldn't have mattered so much.
Even mediocre regular beans would have been better than mediocre or terrible refried
beans. Yeah, exactly.
But
that's the point.
This was the most upsetting thing to me, though. At the end of all that, is that your belly, regardless, is full of burrito. You get no mulligan.
Right. Yeah.
You just ate a bad burrito, and now you're full, and now you have to be in a fucking car overnight for 12 hours, driving through snow where they don't salt or anything.
Well, what it actually turned out to be something like 20 hours.
Yeah. It was
because of
the weather. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an insane blizzard. Everyone else was asleep for a lot of this, but I was driving, and Jesus, we couldn't go above 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Or the car would sort of skid out. And honestly, I was kind of afraid to anyway, because a lot of the trucks around us were driving just barely faster than me.
Yeah.
Except for every now and then a huge 18-wheeler would just fly
Yeah.
in the other lane down at 50 miles an hour or something. Not even the speed limit, but unsafe. And in the morning, as the sun rose, see so many trucks just have eaten shit in the middle of
yeah. It's just jackknife on the side.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. That was definitely not ideal, but we did make it, and then we passed out as soon as we got there.
We were supposed to get there at 4 a.m, and we got there at 10:30 or 11.
Yeah. We did get to drive down Route 66.
That's true, yeah.
Because the highway was so blocked up from them not having salt and anything. We were like, well, let's find another route, and Route 66 went right alongside it. We're good. Let's get our kicks on Route 66.
I think that was when James took over and I kind of passed out in the back. I remember that very well.
Yeah. We were so close to getting there.
I was so stressed out for just 5 hours solid.
Right. But you know what was great is we ended up in Albuquerque and we had Thanksgiving and stuff, and that's great. But then the best thing is we got to have all that green chili,
man.
that Hatch chili
chilies, man.
on everything. That's what they put out. Oh man, they've got so much of it there, right? It only kind of grows there because of the height of where it's growing and blah blah blah. And
they're I don't know if they're native to there, but that's definitely the only place in the United States you can get them, if not the world. And some people will complain about Hatch chili everything in Albuquerque because those people are idiots.
Right? Yeah, it's really good. What are you complaining about? Yeah. It's excellent. I mean, you go to even the fast food burger place had a green chili burger.
Oh, that's right. What was that place called? It was
I don't remember, but it was down the street from where we were staying.
Mr. Willie's or something like that.
But we got some really great
or Mr. Burger or something.
I don't know. We had some really great green chili breakfast or whatever. They put it on eggs and stuff and all that sort of thing. It was with the beans and that was really great. And sopapillas and
Albuquerque. So much more than great meth.
And speaking of, all right, this gets us into our next segment, where we're going to.
Oh right. So there's this whole thing where Jack White's writer was just posted for the show he played at Oklahoma, which
at the University of Oklahoma.
That's what it was. Yeah,
and the student newspaper published all the details of the negotiation and the contracts and the fee and the writer and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there was this thing where it was Jack White is really pissed off because his guacamole recipe is out. And then it was no one's upset. It was just upset that maybe the stuff that was private maybe shouldn't have made public. But, hey, make the guacamole at home. So that's what we're going to do.
And, I know they said Jack White's not actually pissed and may not even like guacamole, but I'm going to pretend he is pissed off because that fucking Lazaretto backwards playing record shit, such a pain in the ass. So
I would like to think that the man would be very upset that his very personal private guacamole recipe is now out there for the world.
What's he gonna do when he goes to a party now?
Right.
Everyone's already gonna have the guacamole recipe. It's not special.
Exactly. His secret weapon is gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Fucking no one's gonna be pumped to see Jack White at their party anymore.
Yeah.
Not without the guacamole being such a special, mysterious thing.
Yeah, he's gonna pop into the party and he's like, what is this?
Nah, dude, we wanted the guac and now we got the guac.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, Jack White, if that is your real name, which it kind of isn't.
Because that's...
Alright, so we're gonna go make this.
Let's make this guac, man. Let's make this guac. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Alright, let's get these chips out and let's test this.
Chip-a-dip-a-doo is what I like to call them.
Chip-a-dip-a-doo. Alright, so let's go in there. Oh, and I broke the chip already.
They're too chunky to really just get in there. You gotta employ a strategy.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
If we had a masher and we could mash them a bit more, if we had a proper tool, it'd be a little better.
Yeah.
But this is pretty good.
Let's see. Let's take a look here.
I agree. Okay, Jack White's company that put this on the writer. Fair enough.
I can see why you get invited to parties.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig this. It's nice.
It's a little on the chunky side, but I like avocados, so whatever.
Now we're gonna watch Mr. Show.
All right. Well.
All right, thank you very much for listening. We're gonna make. I want to make one little plug. So probably by the time that this is out, so we've got that second pressing of vinyl that we talked about before is in. So if you'd like to check that out, go to the store. Also, by this time we'll have put out a music video for our song "A Little Bit Low." So that would be awesome if you wanted to go check that out as well.
Yeah, again, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast if you have not already subscribed. Leave positive ratings on the iTunes page. If you have negative things to say, just don't do it. just don't. I don't care about your opinion.
Alright, thank you guys.
Have a good night.
This concludes the War on Sustenance, the second episode of the Aloud podcast, All Things Aloud. Thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting allthingsaloud.com. Thank you for tasting the future.
Can I also just apologize real quick? I said Cantrell earlier as a joke because I thought it was funny, but now I feel like everyone in Little Rock would be mad at me. It's Cantrell. It's Cantrell Hill.
Cantrell?
No, Cantrell.
Cantrell?
You son of a bitch!